Hear it?
Call me Pavlov's wolf. Every time it thunders, it reminds me of Cora Wilmington. Did I ever tell you about Cora? Girl I knew in college. Whenever it thundered, she always wanted to... No, you're too young. Too young to hear about such phenomenon.
It's heading this way. Stop the car. Out!
I tried to get the pilot out. He's dead.
Well, we can't move him, but we can't leave him here.
Get my belt. My belt. Open. You give it to the kid. Now promise me. Promise me, promise. Promise me.
Okay, what kid?
Yeah, it's funny, man. I always thought that when you're just about set to die, you just, like everything fogs up, but maybe because I spent my whole life in the fog.
There's a gas station about 10 miles back. You want me to call an ambulance?
She wasn't young like the others. She was maybe 35, maybe 40. She said, you know, she hustling drinks. Just hustling drinks. Lonnie. That was her name, Lonnie. That's all I know, just Lonnie. I heard one of the customers call her Lonnie. That's all I remember. Lonnie. I was passing through Savannah on a car trip. It was October 39. There was wood smoke out back. They were burning leaves. We could see the fires from where we were. For a while out there in the dark, I thought she was crying for me, but it was from the wood smoke. Never came back. I heard there was a child, and I never came back. Until now.
Waitress named Lonnie and wood smoke. That's what you're looking for, Linc. Wood smoke. It's gone. Vanished.
We're looking for her. He was talking to you, too.
Why is it people always get hung up on promises to the dying? If he'd stopped you on the street and tried to hustle you into this, you'd have figured it was some sort of a con and told him to get lost. But because he was taking his last breath, you had to come charging into Savannah full of sentimental dedication. You know, I think Freud was right. If we paid more respect in the living than the dead, the world would be a better place.
You know, maybe somewhere in this city there's a young man or a young woman that knowing who their father was would mean something to them. And maybe if we find him or her, give them a choice. Old memories and new money versus no memories and no money. He may not want any part of Mr. Gerald Ward. And he may. I don't know. The point is, that's for him to decide. And after all this time, I'd say he's entitled to the choice. That's how I'd want it. Okay? So that's Southern hospitality.
Well, I thought he was pretty cooperative, considering you wouldn't tell him why you wanted the information. Now, they're not allowed to give out statistics on things like birth and parentage without a court order.
Court order? Check the record of births in Savannah for the month of June, 1940. Mother's first name, Lonnie. Father's first name, unknown.
Well, with a legacy of $38,000, there's no reason we can't arrange for one. The only trouble is it may get you nowhere. You see, there just isn't any sure way to trace a natural parent or link it to a baby if the child was signed over for adoption before it was born. Still, if you want me to, I'll start the wheels turning.
Mr. Warren, would you please tell Sir Lancelot to forget the quest for the Holy Grail? Point out to him this is a project for the Bureau of Missing Persons et al.
I'd like you to get rolling on it right away, sir.
He hasn't even reported the $38,000 yet. That could open up a whole new career for him, behind bars.
No, I'll call the chief and explain it. Don't worry. You call me next week.
Next week? We're supposed to be in Jacksonville Saturday.
Well, while we're waiting, is there anything else I can do?
Well, after 24 years, this might sound crazy, but you could run an ad in the personal column of the morning news and the evening press. Or check the 1940 edition of the city directory. They're all on file down at the public library. And see if a Lonnie somebody or other is listed. But before you do anything else, put that in the bank.
You didn't really expect to find her listed in the city directory. Lonnie could have been a nickname. For all you know, her right given name could be Elizabeth or Eleanor or Betty.
I got these in the phone book.
Thus adding vandalism to your previous crime and not reporting the 38 grand. What are those pages?
Beer parlors, clubs, taverns.
Beer parlors, clubs, and taverns. Do you happen to know the average longevity of a beer parlor, the way they're putting up shopping centers and high-rise apartments? What makes you think some joint Ward wandered into a quarter of a century ago will be there, and even if it is, that they'll remember a waitress named Lonnie?
Abbott's Tavern on Highway 80. I think 80 sort of west. That way.
Yeah, this place was here in the 40s, but it used to be a meat market.
There's a walking tour of Savannah, highly recommended by the Chamber of Commerce, and a motor tour starts at Old Harbor Light.
And finally, a beer drinking tour. We're only up to the D's, huh?
Mr. Case, please. Well, keep buzzing them, honey. I think that was them who just come in.
Hello. Yeah, this is Mr. Case. You saw the ad? Of course I'd like to meet you. Where and when? In the lobby? I'll be right down. Yeah, I understand. Anything that personal. I'm in room 208. Fine. That's what you're looking for, Linc. Wood smoke. Gone. Vanished. She's on her way up.
Who, Lonnie?
Millie Wilkins.
Well, that's close.
Well, maybe Lonnie sent her. Maybe she's the child we're looking for.
Mr. Case?
Well, that's the child I'm looking for.
Come on in, please.
Well, I guess it's all right. I mean, two of you. Oh, I came soon as I read the ad. I even memorized it. Lonnie, after all this time, an important message from Gerald. Linc Case, Hotel de Soto. Poor Lonnie. She certainly can use an important message.
Where do we find her?
I've tried to help, but money just doesn't stretch, does it? Just passing through?
No, I'm thinking of settling in Savannah. Maybe you could show me the town tonight.
Miss Wilkins, I said, where do we find her?
Well, I have to be honest with you. I've been taking care of her. I mean, I don't expect anything back, except what I've loaned her. $85, that's what it comes to. Look, I've got her IOUs right here.
Well, that's okay. If this is the Lonnie we're looking for, we'll pick up her IOUs.
Well, I don't know. She's funny about strangers. After all that's happened with Gerald, all this time gone by, you can hardly blame her. Couldn't you give me something on these IOUs? I mean, if she winds up with any money, she's just as likely to leave town as not and forget to pay me back. How about 50? 20?
Don't you see we're the target for every hustle, every cheap con game there is? Now, will you take that ride with me to the police station so we can get out of here?
Not yet.
Well, how about the price of a good steak dinner?
Good night, Linc.
Hello. Oh, yeah, Mr. Warren.
And no luck yet with any mother named Lonnie, but we do have the names of 8 infants who were abandoned in Savannah during 1940 and the orphanages that took them. It's a long shot, but it's something to keep you busy while we're examining the records. You got a pencil? All right, first name is Marty Johnson, Bethesda Orphanage.
Personal. Well, what I have to say takes some quiet.
Get lost, bud.
They say only savages and ants put strangers to death.
So I'm a savage ant.
I think you're a gutless ant.
Jim, keep an eye on my daily bread.
Talk now. I'm looking for a kid who celebrates his birthday in June. A kid who was born in 1940. That much fits you, Marty.
My birthday? Who celebrates my birthday? You know what I do on my birthday? I get fractured the night before, and I time it so I don't open my eyes till the day after.
I met this kid's father, and he gave me a message to deliver. So I'm looking for this kid and the mother. It's like that, see?
The orphanage told you where I was.
After I told him the reason why.
Butt out, fella.
If you change your mind, I'll be at the DeSoto Hotel. Linc case.
If you brought them both around here on a platter, I'd stuff them in the oven and bake them to a crisp. I'd burn them. Oh, man, would I burn them. Where was his message all these years? Where was his stinking message? And you stay out of my life.
I keep thinking, one of these days, I'm gonna hitch a ride to Vegas. Buy myself one of those low-cut gowns and stand around the crap tables and wait for some high flyer to get lucky and say, here you go, Millie girl. That's just for looking beautiful and bringing me luck. I'll never do that. It's just a silly old dream. You know, I could have lifted your wall at least 5 times tonight. What do you see in me?
I have this obsession, you know. I have to try and live out the lyrics of popular songs. When I was in Philadelphia, I had to stand between 18th and 19th on Chestnut Street. In Chicago, I kept going until I actually found a man who danced with his wife. St. Louis, I was looking for a fellow being led around by apron strings. So naturally, when I got here, I had to try and find hard-hearted Hannah, the vamp of Savannah. Let's go someplace that really wails, huh?
Waiter. Have another round, please. There's no fun being logical. Logical is dull.
Aren't you having fun, baby?
I keep thinking about a man who died in the mud, calling for a child he never knew. So what am I doing about it? Sitting here with soft-hearted Hannah who could have lifted my wallet 5 times. Linc takes it to heart. See, Millie, that's my trouble. I can't accept life the way it is, only the way I think it ought to be. A man dies in the mud and whispers, Lonnie, October, and wood smoke. And right away, I judge it. But not Linc.
Hi, Harry.
Evening, Millie.
Todd, this is my friend Harry.
Hi, Harry. You know Lonnie? Do you? Lonnie Taylor? Yeah, she worked in a tavern in 39 or 40. Kind of sad eyes, older than the other waitresses.
They aren't sad. They're wise. Lonnie has wise eyes.
You talk about her like she was right here.
In my mind, she is. Right over there. Well, there used to be a bar over there when Mr. Hull owned this place. Funny how the world turns. He used to drive a big car with a diamond in his tie. I used to clean up. And when I worked here, beer was a nickel. So I'd go all the way to a quarter. Then Mr. Hull lost the place. I bought it. Now beer's back to a nickel again. Now we got a band, liquor license. I drive a big car. Mr. Hull, he's handyman over at the public school. Funny how the world turns.
What about Lonnie?
You a friend, Millie?
He's okay, Harry.
Well, last I heard, she was up at Madison.
Madison?
The pool house.
They don't call it that anymore, Millie. They call it a golden age center. Well, like I say, when the world turns, it really turns.
You've got company, Lonnie.
My name's Linc, ma'am. This is Todd. Would you care to sit down?
You sure you all want to talk to me?
Harry told us where to find you, Miss Taylor.
I've been sitting all morning. about to cloud up. See over there how flat that smoke hangs? And that bird flying so low? Morning showers like an old person dancing. Never last too long. You won't get too wet. How's Harry?
He has a long memory.
In the spring, that garden's alive with wisteria and camellias.
Gerald Ward's dead, ma'am.
Azaleas.
He died feeling sorry he never saw the child. He died on the way to make it up.
Most folks never pay attention to flowers till they're 50.
He gave us some money to pass along.
I never cared much for flowers, not even now. Most folks fuss too much over beautiful things. Not all the things God put on earth are beautiful.
We don't enjoy being in this position. We sort of fell into it and took the responsibility. And we just don't want to let it stand there, you know? Anything you care to tell us to help us locate the child won't go any further.
I've been working on a tapestry. I've been working on it for 3 years. I keep trying to make it unbeautiful. No matter what I do, it seems to turn out pretty. I don't like it half so much when it looks pretty. Guess you think I'm getting senile wandering on like that. But a wandering mind's a blessing. Wish my mind could wander to new places so I could forget. But it doesn't. I even remember the lines in his face and how he needed a haircut, how neglected he looked. But his hands were nice. His nails shine. From the cards, I guess. But I only saw him that one night. They were burning leaves out back. I felt so sorry for him, I cried. Why was he sorry?
For the way it all happened, the fact he never came back.
But I never wanted him back. I never expected him to come back. Can't you see that?
Well, there was the child.
Yes.
Will you help us find him?
That's another thing I can't forget. The way that baby looked at me when I gave it away.
To whom, ma'am?
That's the one thing I did forget. You all better hurry. It's fixing to rain.
You've come up with a lot more than I have. Matter of fact, I was going to recommend we just give up as far as the official records are concerned. Some muffins, please. I did what you suggested. I checked the hospital records for Lonnie Taylor in 1940. Nothing. Black coffee, please.
She could have had the baby at somebody's house.
Hey, I tell you what we can do. We can check with the Medical Association for the names of any midwives who were practicing in 1940. We can turn up the one who delivered the baby. That might get us somewhere. Here, I'll catch all these.
Now what? Well, I've still got 3 giveaways to check. I can try the maternity homes while waiting for Mr. Warren to tell us about midwives. And if that turns sour...
How's it going?
1 dead father, 1 live mother.
What do you mean, 1 live mother?
She gave the baby away. End of story.
So what makes you think she's my mother?
I never said she was. I thought through the years you might have heard something. Had a letter, a call, a Christmas present.
This kid that I put on TV with his own comedy hour.
I said I was sorry.
Where is the old dame?
Why?
Well, wouldn't you be curious?
What do you think?
I think if he's not her son, it'll be one of the cruelest things anybody ever did.
How do we avoid it? She won't tell us.
Maybe something around the eyes.
Okay, buddy.
You know how much I got to say to you? You any idea the words I got stored up? Let's get out in here.
Wait.
So what is this, my fault? Look, she did it to me. I was 9, see? I'm in the store with old man Thorson. He was foster parent number 5. It's one of these surplus stores with all the junk. He says to me, Marty, go look at stuff while I talk to the clerk. I said, sure, but I was on to him. So I go around behind this big stack of paint cans and I listen. He says to the clerk, look, this isn't my kid, see? Just a kid we keep in the house for charity. He didn't tell the clerk the county was paying him $55 a month to keep me, and that without the $55, he couldn't keep himself and mash whiskey. So he says to the clerk, now I don't want to hurt the kid's feelings, but when I bring him around to the pants counter, I'll say, Marty, any pair you want. You just name it. That's when you bring out the cheapest pair you got. I mean, I want them to last. Something good and cheap, but durable. But tell the kid they're the best pair of pants in the house. She doesn't even look like me. I'm glad you're not my old lady.
I'd be proud to be your mama, but the child I gave away was a girl, a little girl.
Was formed in a rougher mold.
Nurse.
You'd think with all those prescriptions I'd know Latin, but these names, no wonder Rome fell.
Mrs. Barber? The Medical Association gave us your name. We were wondering if you could help us.
You both look good and healthy.
Mrs. Barber, Can you think back 23 years?
Young man, I wish that's as far back as I could think.
You were a midwife then?
Isn't that the way? When I was younger, I was bringing life into the world. Now I'm handling only terminal cases. Makes you think.
A woman named Lonnie Taylor had a little girl. We're looking for her.
Lonnie Taylor. A little girl. Why?
Well, we have something for her. $38,000 from her father.
38,000. My.
Well, no strings attached, Mrs. Barber. And please trust us. We're not attorneys or police or investigators. Just two guys trying to do someone a favor, you know?
Go talk to Mr. Hall.
That's the man she used to work for.
I've been expecting you. I always knew it would happen. A car would pull up in front of the house, a stranger come to the door. Now it comes up two boys, huh?
May we talk to her?
Well, is what I'm going to say, would it make any difference? Because I say don't talk to her.
It isn't really as simple as all that, is it?
Now look, boy, she's doing fine. She's got a going business, chance to meet the finest young men in the town. One of these days, she'll probably marry one of them. She's got her whole life ahead of her. You see, my wife is dead. But to Nita, that's her mother buried out at Oak Lawn. And every 23rd of September, we go out there and put flowers on her grave. Do you think it's right to tell her this whole thing is a lie? To say, Nita, your father's a fraud. A man who took you in out of pity for one of his waitresses. Is this the prize you're going to give her? Huh? Just because a real father felt guilty and wanted to buy back the years?
He died thinking of the child, wanting to make it right.
There's only one way to make it right, fellas. Don't tell her.
What are we going to do with the money? Give it to Lonnie. Maybe she can do something with it for herself or for the girl.
Wouldn't you like to see her before we leave? Just out of curiosity. She wouldn't have to know it. Just take a look at her.
Well, there's our wood smoke. What do you think? Should we go in?
Good afternoon. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Yeah, a Louis Napoleon plat in really good condition.
Well, I might be able to find one for you.
I'm just starting to decorate. Maybe you could give me some pointers.
please pardon the appearance of the shop, but all my best pieces are at the decorators show in New York. Father took 3 vans up for display. Some absolutely exquisite Louis XIVs, all my Victorians, and some fabulous 15th century Spanish items.
Your father's a decorator, too?
Well, he's more or less retired, but he still keeps his hand in. Actually, his main interest is buying and selling hotels. Sometimes I think he buys them just to get their old furniture. But he has taught me almost all I know about decor.
What do you think? Should we give her a chance?
Is it a house or an apartment?
A house. New Regency.
Oh, they're fun. Where is it, out by Briarwood?
Yeah, out that way.
Well, I've never done Regency, but I just finished one that has everything. If you'd like to see it. Perhaps you know the owner, Richard Brace?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll call Dickie and tell him you're coming out. He'll be delighted to show you what I've done for him. Oh, I might as well warn you, he fixes a mean drink for this time of day. You go see for yourself. I'll rise or fall on what you see.
This is the only thing in the whole house she allowed me to keep. All the rest of the stuff you see, I believe the proper designation is objet d'art, Nita picked.
Looks like the Harvard waterway to me.
Are you a Harvard man?
No, Yale.
Ever racing a shell?
That was a stroke in '59.
I was second oar in '56.
I hope you two will be very happy together.
Gentlemen, we're gonna go straight over here and get good and potted toasting Yale '59 and Harvard '56. Nita, New Orleans, the weekend of July 16th. Gaudy, but nice. Martinis are quicker, okay?
Would you recommend her?
The greatest. Oh, she comes highly recommended. I got her from Tommy Higgins. Tommy got her from Carl Dewing. Carl got her from Bert Nicholson. These are pretty good boys, let me tell you. They know a good thing when they find it. I better warn you, though, there's just one thing. She'll do your place as though she were decorating it for herself. I don't mean that to sound the way it might sound, because Nita's a good friend of mine. But, well, it's almost as though she halfway expects you to marry her when the place is finished. Not really, of course, but you can get that feeling. Shall we drink to Yale first or to Harvard?
Why don't we drink to Nita?
Here. Yeah.
Which one of you is first? If you don't mind, may I wait on these gentlemen first? They were in early this afternoon. Why don't you just browse around? We have some new things in from upstate and some lovely old things out back. Well, what did you think of Dickie's place?
Your touch was everywhere.
Is he always this evasive? Well, did you like it or did you hate it?
He's not going to marry you, honey.
Well, sir, what's that supposed to mean?
They know who I am. Dick Brace isn't going to marry you. None of them are.
What did you say to him? Who are you?
Oh, honey, please listen to me.
How can you say such a terrible thing? Why, you know Dickie and I are virtually engaged. How can you stand there and believe them? I'm going to call him right now. I want to watch what happens, but I tell him what you said. And don't you try to stop me.
I never did tell you why I lost the beer joint, did I? See, I threw out all the domestic beer. Can you imagine a joint like that? Imported beer in bottles. I tried to make it something it wasn't. You'd think I'd learn. Oh, honey. The minute you were old enough to understand, I should have told you the truth. Your real mother hustled drinks in my bar 24 years ago. Your father was a card man passing through. These fellas were with him when he died, on his way trying to find you.
What are you trying to do to me?
Honey, I'm trying to hit you as hard as I can and pulling the whole mountain down on your head. Now, what you do about it now, how you handle it, that's what matters. That's all that matters.
A Screen Gems presentation. Herbert B. Leonard, executive producer.